The gift bag tore from her fingers and spilled across the marble floor. A sharp crack echoed down the executive hallway. Everyone froze. The silk-wrapped box slid to a stop right at Kang Joon-Hyuk's polished Italian shoes. He stopped walking. Slowly, deliberately, he looked down, then up, at her. "Pick it up," he said. Nia Williams dropped to her knees instantly, heart slamming against her ribs. Her dark curls fell forward as she reached for the items scattered across the floor. Luxury chocolates, a slim envelope, a velvet box that had no business being anywhere near the 32nd floor of Korea's most feared corporation. Her fingers brushed the envelope. Her name stared back at her. Nia. Written in a familiar hand. She felt it before she heard it. The shift in the air. The pressure of his presence closing in. "Open it," Joon-Hyuk said. Her hand froze. "Sir, it's... open it." His voice wasn't loud. It didn't need to be. Kang Joon-Hyuk didn't raise his voice. He broke people with calm. Nia swallowed and opened the envelope. Saw this and thought of you. Wear it tonight. A. Silence slammed into the hallway. The velvet box was already in his hand. He opened it himself. A gold necklace. Custom. Elegant. Intimate. The kind of gift you didn't give casually. Joon-Hyuk's jaw tightened once. Then he looked at her. "Who got you those gifts?" The question landed like a slap. Nia pushed herself to her feet, straightening her skirt, lifting her chin. "That's not work-related." His eyes darkened. "You dropped them in my building. That still doesn't make them your concern." A murmur rippled through the employees, pretending not to watch. Joon-Hyuk took a step closer. "Everything that enters my space is my concern." Her pulse thundered. "With respect, sir." "Respect?" His mouth curved slightly, humorless. "You've been my secretary for 4 years. You know better than to test me in public." She held his gaze anyway. "Then don't question me in public." Something dangerous flickered across his face. "My office," he said. "Now." The doors closed behind them with a soft, final click. The silence inside his office was worse. Joon-Hyuk placed the necklace on his desk carefully, like evidence. "You're careful," he said. "Precise. You don't make mistakes." "I didn't." "Then explain why another man is buying you gifts meant to be worn on his arm." Her voice shook despite her effort to steady it. "My personal life is not company property." He laughed once. Short, sharp. "You don't have a personal life that doesn't orbit this company." "That's not true." "You arrive before me. You leave after me. You manage my calendar, my calls, my crises. You cancel dates when I need you late." Her chest tightened. "That was my choice." "And now?" he asked quietly. She exhaled. "Now I'm choosing something else." The words hit him harder than he expected. His eyes narrowed. "Who is he?" She folded her arms. "You don't get to interrogate me." "I do," he snapped, "when my judgment is compromised." She blinked. "What?" "I lost a merger today," he said flatly, "because I wasn't focused." She stared at him. "That's not my fault." "No," he agreed softly. "It's his." The jealousy was naked now, unfiltered. If you're enjoying this kind of intense, emotionally charged story, a narrator would slide in here smoothly. Don't forget to like and subscribe, because this is only getting worse. Nia shook her head. "This is crossing a line." "You crossed it first," he said. "You changed." "I'm allowed to." "Not like this." "Like what?" she demanded. "Happy?" That did it. Joon-Hyuk turned away, pacing once, hand raking through his hair. "Tell me his name," he said. "No." "Tell me." "No." He stopped. "You're testing my patience, and you're abusing your power." They stared at each other, breath heavy, the air thick with things neither had said out loud. Finally, he spoke again, quieter. "Leave, before I say something I can't take back." She hesitated, then walked out. This time, she didn't look back. Joon-Hyuk stood alone, staring at the closed door, replaying the sight of that necklace in his mind. That night, long after midnight, his security chief answered his call. "I want everything," Joon-Hyuk said. "The man buying my secretary gifts. Name, background, intentions." "Yes, sir." Across the city, Nia leaned against her apartment door, heart racing. "You're late," Aaron said gently. She dropped her bag. "Work." He studied her face. "He did something." She didn't answer. Aaron stepped closer. "You don't owe him your life." She closed her eyes. "I know." Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. "Did you like the gift?" Her breath caught. The same moment across the city, Kang Joon-Hyuk watched a live security feed as a man stood far too close to Nia Williams. His hand tightened. "Who do you think you are?" he muttered. "Touching what works for me." And without realizing it, the jealous Korean CEO had already lost his mind. Joon-Hyuk didn't sleep. He sat in the dark of his penthouse, the city glittering below him. The live security feed paused on one frame. Nia standing at her apartment door. The man beside her smiling too easily, leaning in too close. Aaron. That was the name his security chief had sent over an hour ago. Aaron Cole, American, consultant, clean background, no criminal ties, no leverage, no obvious weaknesses. The worst kind of man. Joon-Hyuk replayed the clip again. Aaron said something. Nia laughed. Not the polite curve of her lips she gave board members. Not the controlled smile she gave him every morning. A real laugh. Joon-Hyuk's jaw clenched. He muted the feed and tossed the tablet. Aside, standing abruptly. The glass in his hand shattered against the wall, but he barely noticed. By morning, the building could feel it. The CEO arrived early. Too early. Tie immaculate. Expression carved from stone. "Nia," he said flatly the moment she stepped off the elevator. She froze for half a second before turning. "Good morning, sir." Inside. The door closed. He didn't sit. "You lied to me," he said. She blinked. "About what?" "You told me your personal life wasn't interfering with your work." "It isn't." "You left at 6 yesterday. I was done." "You've never been done at 6. She folded her arms. "People change." "Not without reason." Her eyes hardened. "You followed me. I protected you. By spying on me. You're not safe," he snapped. She stared at him. "From what? Men who care about me." The words cut deeper than she knew. He stepped closer. "You think he cares?" "Yes." "Based on what?" "Based on the fact that he doesn't treat me like property." Silence. Then, coldly, "You're underestimating him. And you're overestimating yourself." His phone buzzed. He ignored it. "I want you to stop seeing him," he said. Her breath hitched. "That's not your decision." "It is when it compromises your judgment. You don't get to decide who I see." "I decide on risk." She laughed, sharp and incredulous. "I'm not your investment." He leaned down until they were eye level. "You're my secretary. I'm a person." "Then act like one," he shot back. "Not like someone who can be bought with jewelry." Her face was drained of color. That was uncalled for. Was it? His voice was low, dangerous. "You drop expensive gifts in my hallway and expect me not to question intent?" "Those gifts weren't about money," she said quietly. "They were about thought." Something twisted in his chest. "Leave," he said. She didn't argue this time, but as she turned, he added, "And cancel your evening plans." She stopped. "No," that single word echoed. "You're still employed by me, and I'm still allowed a life. You're testing me. I'm setting boundaries." He watched her walk out, spine straight, dignity intact, and for the first time he realized she wasn't afraid of losing her job. That afternoon, rumors began. A restructured department, a sudden audit, a cancelled project Aaron's firm was consulting on. Nia stared at her screen, heart sinking. This wasn't a coincidence. She stormed into Joon-Hyuk's office without knocking. "You're retaliating." He didn't look up. "I'm minimizing exposure. You're punishing him. I don't punish people who don't matter." Her voice dropped. "He matters to me." He looked up then. The room went very still. "How much?" he asked. She swallowed. "Enough. Enough to scare him. Enough to make his chest ache." "You're making a mistake," he said, "and you're proving my point." She placed her resignation letter on his desk, effective immediately. He stared at the paper like it was written in a foreign language. "You won't do this," he said. "I just did." "You think walking away will protect you?" "No," she said softly, "but staying will destroy me." She left. The office felt wrong without her, too quiet, too empty. That night, Aaron held her while she cried. "You don't have to go back," he murmured. "I know." But across the city, Kang Joon-Hyuk stood at his window, staring down at nothing, realizing too late. The one thing he'd tried to control was the one thing he was about to lose, and he wasn't ready to let her go. Not yet. Joon-Hyuk arrived at the office the next morning and immediately knew something was wrong. Nia's desk was empty, not running late, empty, not stepped out for coffee, empty, cleared, no planner, no neatly stacked folders, no mug with the chipped handle she refused to replace. Even the framed quote she kept, turned slightly inward so no one else could read it. Gone. His chest tightened. "Where is she?" he demanded. No one answered fast enough. "I asked a question." His assistant bowed stiffly. "Ms. Williams submitted her resignation last night, sir. HR processed it first thing this morning." Processed. The word made his jaw clench. "She doesn't resign without notice." "She did," the assistant said carefully. "She declined the exit interview." Joon-Hyuk turned away before anyone could see the crack in his composure. He walked into his office, shut the door, and locked it. Then he lost control. The glass on his desk shattered. Papers flew. His chair slammed into the wall. "She doesn't get to leave like this," he muttered. Not without a conversation, not without closure, not without him fixing what he'd broken. Across the city, Nia sat at Aaron's kitchen table, hands wrapped around a mug she wasn't drinking from. "You did the right thing," Aaron said gently. She nodded, but her throat burned. "I gave him too much power," she whispered, "and he used it." Aaron hesitated. "Do you think he'll stop?" She looked down. No. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. She didn't need to open it to know. She stood. "I need air." Outside, the city felt too loud, too close. Her phone buzzed again, then again. Finally, she answered. "What?" she said. "You resigned," Joon-Hyuk said. "Not a question." "Yes. You don't get to disappear." "I do," she replied. "That's the point. You owe me. I owe you nothing." Silence crackled down the line. "Where are you?" he asked. "That's none of your business." He exhaled slowly. "Come back. We'll renegotiate." "Renegotiate what?" she asked. "My dignity?" "I'll apologize." She laughed bitterly. "You don't apologize." "I will," he said, "if you come back." "No. You're making this harder than it needs to be. You made it impossible." She hung up. Joon-Hyuk stared at his phone, disbelief giving way to something darker. By afternoon, the consequences hit. Meetings stalled, deadlines slipped, decisions slowed. Nia had been the spine of his operation, and without her, the structure bent. By evening, he did something he hadn't done in years. He went to her building. He didn't announce himself, didn't bring security. He waited. When she stepped outside, she froze. "You shouldn't be here," she said. "I shouldn't have let you go," he replied. Aaron appeared behind her instantly. "Is there a problem?" Joon-Hyuk's gaze flicked to him, cold, assessing. Yes, he said. You. Nia stepped between them. Leave. I just want to talk. You had years to talk, she said. You chose control instead. His voice dropped. I chose fear. She stilled. For the first time, he continued, I was afraid of losing something I couldn't replace. Aaron cleared his throat. This isn't appropriate. You're right, Joon-Hyuk said without looking away from Nia. Because this isn't about you. She shook her head. It is now. His jaw tightened. Come back, not as my secretary, as something else. Her breath caught. Aaron looked between them. Nia? She swallowed. You don't get to redefine us when it suits you. I'm not redefining, he said. I'm admitting. To what? She demanded. That I crossed every line because I didn't know how to want you without owning you. The honesty hit her harder than his anger ever had. Silence stretched. If this story is pulling you in, the narrator would slip in right here. Don't forget to like the video and comment where you're listening from, because this tension is only escalating. Nia took a step back. You need help. Maybe, he said, but I don't need him. Aaron's jaw tightened. You don't speak for her. No, Joon-Hyuk agreed. She does. All eyes turned to her. Her voice shook. I need time. Joon-Hyuk nodded once. I'll wait. I don't know if I'll come back. I know, he said quietly. That's why it hurts. He left without another word. That night, Nia couldn't sleep. Not because of fear. Because of the look in his eyes when he'd finally stopped trying to dominate and started trying to feel. And across the city, Kang Joon-Hyuk sat alone, realizing something terrifying. He was no longer in control, and he didn't. Now Nia tried to move on. She told herself that every morning. She woke early, sent out resumes, took consulting calls, laughed with Aaron when he tried too hard to distract her. On the surface, her life looked lighter, freer, but something felt unfinished. Across the city, Kang Joon-Hyuk unraveled quietly. He replaced her with 3 assistants. None of them lasted a week. One forgot a meeting with a minister. Another misread his mood and spoke when he wanted silence. The third cried in his office. Out, he said coldly. All of you. The door closed. The office felt wrong. Too loud when it was silent. Too empty when it was full. He stared at the spot where Nia used to stand, arms crossed, chin lifted, eyes steady, even when challenging him. For the first time in his career, he admitted the truth. He hadn't just lost a secretary. He'd lost his anchor. The next move wasn't planned. It was instinct. By evening, headlines broke. Kang Group announced a new diversity-led global expansion initiative. Public, aggressive, personal, and at the center of it, a newly created executive role, Director of Global Operations, Nia Williams. She read the article 3 times before it sank in. What the hell is this? She whispered. Aaron frowned over her shoulder. Is he trying to buy you back? Her phone rang. Joon-Hyuk. She hesitated, then answered. You don't get to use my name like that, she said. I didn't, he replied. The board did. That's a lie. It's a compromise. Silence. I'm not coming back as your secretary, she said. I know. And I won't work under you. You won't. Her breath caught. Then why do this? Because you were already doing the job, he said simply. I just never gave you the title. The words landed differently this time. This doesn't fix what you did, she said. I'm not trying to fix, he replied. I'm trying to be better. She laughed softly. You don't change overnight. No, he agreed, but I don't let go of things worth fighting for either. She ended the call without agreeing, but she didn't say no. The next day, Aaron noticed. You're considering it, he said. She didn't deny it. He's manipulating you, Aaron continued. Again. Or he's finally listening. Aaron exhaled. And if he hurts you again? Her voice was quiet. Then I'll walk away for good. Across town, Joon-Hyuk waited. Days passed. The board pushed. The media speculated. Investors buzzed. Finally, she walked into the building again. Not to his floor. To the boardroom. The room went silent. She stood tall, calm, unshakable. Joon-Hyuk watched from across the table, saying nothing. She negotiated fiercely, set boundaries, demanded autonomy, and he agreed to every single one. After the meeting, she stopped him in the hallway. "This doesn't mean forgiveness," she said. "I know," he replied. "And it doesn't mean anything personal." His gaze softened. "I know." But when she walked away, his chest still tightened, because control was no longer the goal. Respect was, and that terrified him more. Midway through this storm of emotion, the narrator would lean in gently. "If this story has you hooked, like the video, drop a comment and subscribe, because the tension between these two is only getting sharper." That night, a package arrived at her door. No card, just a familiar velvet box. Inside, the necklace, returned. Her phone buzzed. "I won't claim what isn't mine. Not anymore." Her hands trembled. She didn't know whether to cry or scream. And somewhere deep inside, she knew. This war wasn't over. It was changing. Nia didn't wear the necklace. She left it in the velvet box on her dresser, unopened after that first night, like a line she refused to cross. Her first week as director of global operations was brutal. Not because of the work, she had always done the work, but because of the eyes on her. Some are curious, some were impressed, some resentful, and some are openly hostile. She slept her way up. The whisper followed her into the elevator. She didn't flinch. By the third day, the resistance stopped being subtle. A senior executive delayed a report she needed. Another forgot to loop her into a critical email. A third openly challenged her authority in a meeting. Joon-Hyuk watched it all and said nothing. That scared her more than if he had intervened. After the meeting, she cornered him in the corridor. "You said I'd have autonomy," she said under her breath. "You do. Then why are they undermining me?" "Because they think you're protected by me." Her jaw tightened. "And are they wrong?" He met her eyes. "I haven't stepped in. Not once. That's not the point." "It is," he replied calmly. "You don't need me to save you." She studied him. "This is a test." "Yes." "Of me?" "Of them." That night, she stayed late. Not to prove anything, but because she refused to be outworked. At 11:18 p.m., her phone buzzed. "You haven't eaten." She frowned at the screen. "You don't know that." 3 seconds later, "You skipped lunch. You always do when you're angry." She stared at the message, irritation and something warmer twisting together. "Stop watching me." A pause. "I'm learning to look without controlling." She didn't reply. At midnight, she left the building alone. The city was quieter at that hour, vulnerable. She barely registered the footsteps behind her until they were too close. "Ms. Williams!" She turned sharply. 2 men, suits, corporate. "Kang Group Security," one said quickly. "Mr. Kang sent us." Her stomach dropped. "I didn't ask for an escort." "He insisted." She shook her head. "I'm fine." "Ma'am." "No," she said firmly. "Tell him I walked away from protection once. I can do it again." They hesitated, then backed off. From his office window above, Joon-Hyuk watched her disappear into the night, jaw tight, hands clenched. "You're making this harder," he muttered. Across the city, Aaron noticed the change. Immediately. "You're never home," he said. "I'm busy. With him. With my job." He studied her. "You still love him." Her laugh was sharp. "That's not love." "What is it then?" She didn't answer. The tension snapped a week later. A company gala. Mandatory attendance, cameras everywhere. Nia arrived alone, black dress, simple, powerful. The room shifted when she entered, and then Joon-Hyuk arrived. Together, but not together. He stood across the room, eyes finding her instantly. Then he saw it. The necklace, around her neck, gold against dark skin. The room blurred. He crossed the floor without thinking. "Who got you those gifts?" he asked quietly, stopping in front of her. Her eyes widened. "I told you, I didn't." He leaned closer. "You said you wouldn't wear it." "I didn't," she whispered. "This is different." "Different how?" "It's mine now." Something inside him snapped. "You're wearing it in my space," he said, voice tight, "in front of everyone. And you don't own this space," she shot back. Heads turned, whispers ignited. "If this moment has you holding your breath," the narrator would slide in right here, like the video, and comment, "because this confrontation is about to explode." "You're provoking me," he said. "No," she replied. "I'm reminding you." "Of what?" "That I choose." Their eyes locked. Slowly, deliberately, he reached out. Not to touch her, to unclasp the necklace. The room went silent. She caught his wrist. "Don't." The single word burned. He stopped. Then, in front of everyone, he did something no one had ever seen Kang Joon-Hyuk do. He stepped back. "I won't," he said hoarsely. The restraint cost him everything. She released him and turned away, heart pounding. But she didn't see the man watching from the shadows, Aaron, and the look on his face was not relief. It was a realization. Batch 6-9. The next morning, the office buzzed with whispers that followed Nia like a shadow. Every glance felt like a spark, and she walked through it deliberately, head high, heart pounding. Her desk was already stacked with files, emails flagged urgent, phone buzzing non-stop. She ignored it all. Today was about her, not them. "Morning, Ms. Williams," said a timid voice. It was her assistant, holding a coffee. Someone left this outside your office." She took it without a word, noticing the single red rose taped to the lid. No note, no name, just the flower. Her pulse quickened. By 10 a.m., her phone vibrated again. "Did you see the look he gave you last night?" Nia stared at the screen. It was Joon-Hyuk. She typed fast. "It doesn't matter. I'm focused. It matters more than you think." Her fingers hovered. She wanted to delete the conversation, but curiosity got the better of her. In the boardroom, she faced the senior executives who had been subtly undermining her all week. They smirked, assuming she'd crumble under their scrutiny. But Nia didn't. Not this time. She spoke with precision, dismantling their objections, challenging every assumption, and leaving no room for their arrogance. By the end, they were speechless. As she walked back to her office, a familiar presence stopped her. "Impressive," Joon-Hyuk said, leaning casually against her doorframe. "You handled them well." She met his gaze. "I didn't do it for you." "You did it anyway," he said softly, almost a growl. The air between them thickened, tension crackling like static. Nia turned to leave, but he stepped closer, too close for comfort, eyes locked on hers. "Who else gives you gifts?" His voice was low, controlled but trembling beneath the surface. "I already told you. No one," she replied, trying to mask the rapid beat of her heart. He shook his head, exhaling sharply. "I don't like it. It's mine, Nia. Do you understand me?" She bristled. "You can't. Own me." "You'll see," he whispered, brushing a strand of hair from her face. His hand lingered longer than necessary, sending a shiver down her spine. At that moment, her phone buzzed. "Aaron, I'm done with being ignored. We need to talk." Her chest tightened. She glanced at Joon-Hyuk, who was watching her every reaction. "You think he matters," Joon-Hyuk said softly, almost teasing, "but he doesn't see you like I do." "Then let him go," she snapped, forcing herself to pull away. He caught her wrist, turning her so she faced him fully. I won't let him, he said fiercely. Her heart raced. Emotions collided. Fear, desire, frustration. She wanted to push him away and run, yet part of her longed to stay, to feel that intensity, that fire. Hours later, the office was quiet. She stayed late, reviewing reports, ignoring the occasional glance at her phone. Then, without warning, her office door opened. Working late again? Joon-Hyuk's voice was smooth, calm, but charged with something dangerous. Nia didn't answer. He stepped in, shutting the door behind him, closing the space between them. You can't keep me at arm's length forever, he murmured, eyes darkening with emotion. I can, she shot back, heart pounding. I have to. You think I'll let you, he said, leaning closer. Walk away from me so easily? Before she could respond, he reached for the rose she had left on her desk, holding it delicately, almost worshipfully. You should have given it to me, he said, voice low, almost a growl. Not him, not anyone else. She swallowed hard, words failing her. Her body betrayed her, leaning slightly toward him despite her will. You're mine, he said again, quieter this time, but the conviction in his tone left no room for misinterpretation. And just like that, the walls she had built around her heart began to crack. If you're loving this tension-filled story, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss the next explosive moment. Nia pulled back first. Not because she wasn't affected, because she was. You don't get to say that, she said, voice tight. Not after everything. Joon-Hyuk didn't argue. He straightened slowly, the heat in his eyes cooling into something sharper, more dangerous. You're right, he said. I don't get to say it. He turned and walked out. That should have been a relief. It wasn't. The next day, Aaron showed up at the building. Security called her immediately. There's a man asking for you. He says it's urgent. Her stomach dropped. She found him in the lobby, hands in his pockets, jaw clenched. You can't keep doing this, he said the moment he saw her. Doing what? She asked. Pretending this is just work, Aaron snapped. You're slipping away, Nia. She lowered her voice. This isn't the place. That's the point, he said. Everywhere is his. Place. She sighed. I told you from the start this was complicated. No, he said. You told me you were done with him. Her chest tightened. I am done being controlled. That's not the same thing. Before she could answer, the temperature in the room dropped. Joon-Hyuk stepped into the lobby. The effect was immediate. Conversations stalled. People straightened. Fear rippled. His gaze locked on Aaron, then shifted to Nia. Is there a problem? He asked calmly. Aaron stepped forward. Yeah, you. Nia moved instinctively between them. Stop. Joon-Hyuk didn't look at Aaron again. You shouldn't be here. I'm not afraid of you, Aaron said. That's because you don't understand who you're standing in front of. I understand exactly, Aaron shot back. A man who thinks power replaces consent. The word consent hit hard. The room went silent. Nia's heart pounded. Enough, both of you. She turned to Aaron. You need to leave. He stared at her. You're choosing him. No, she said, voice breaking. I'm choosing myself. Aaron's expression shifted, hurt, then resignation. Call me when you're ready to stop lying to yourself, he said quietly. He walked out. Nia stood frozen. Joon-Hyuk watched her carefully. I didn't ask him to leave. I know, she said. Does that make it worse? She looked up at him. It makes it complicated. That night, everything went wrong. She was halfway home when the car behind her accelerated. Too fast. Too close. Her phone rang. Joon-Hyuk. Where are you? He demanded. Driving. Pull over, now. What? Do it. She did. The black car stopped too. Her breath hitched. Stay in the car, Joon-Hyuk said sharply. Lock the doors. The other car's door opened. A man stepped out. Then another. Her heart slammed against her ribs. Before she could scream, headlights flooded the street. Joon-Hyuk's car skidded to a stop between them. Security spilled out. Orders barked. Men restrained. The threat was neutralized in seconds. Joon-Hyuk was at her door instantly, yanking it open. "Are you hurt?" His hands were already on her, checking, shaking. "I'm fine," she whispered, adrenaline surging. What was that? "Someone testing boundaries," he said grimly. "Because of you?" she asked. "Because of me," he corrected. "And because they know you matter." Her voice shook. "This is why I left." He held her gaze. "And this is why you can't pretend you're safer without me." Silence fell between them. Finally she spoke. "Take me home." He did. Inside her apartment, the tension snapped. She turned on him. "You don't get to use fear to pull me back." "I didn't create the danger," he said. "I stopped it." "You live in danger," she shot back. "And you pull everyone close to you into it." "Yes," he said quietly. "Including myself." She stilled. "I'm not asking you to be mine," he continued. "I'm asking you to stop pretending this doesn't exist." He gestured between them. Her voice was barely a whisper. "What if I can't survive you?" His eyes softened. "Then I'll learn how not to destroy you." The honesty gutted her. She stepped back. "I need time." "I'll give it," he said. "But I won't disappear." She nodded slowly. As he turned to leave, he paused. "Who got you those gifts?" he asked one last time. She exhaled. "Someone who wanted me to be happy." "And am I making you unhappy?" he asked. She didn't answer. After the door closed, Nia slid down against it, heart racing, mind spinning. Across the city, Kang Joon-Hyuk sat in his car, hands gripping the wheel, knowing one thing with terrifying clarity. He would burn the world down before letting harm touch her again, and that realization scared him more than any enemy ever had. Tati Choi. 9. Sleep abandoned Nia completely. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw headlights cutting through darkness, felt Joon-Hyuk's hands on her shoulders, heard the way his voice cracked when he asked if she was hurt. Not commanding, not controlling, afraid. By morning, her resolve was fraying. At the office, she sensed it immediately, the shift. Conversations stopped when she passed. Phones went silent. Even the air felt heavier. She hadn't even reached her desk when HR called. "Ms. Williams, the CEO has requested your presence. Immediately." Her stomach tightened. She walked into Joon-Hyuk's office and stopped short. He wasn't behind the desk. He was standing by the window, jacket off, tie loosened, sleeves rolled up like a man bracing for war. "Close the door," he said without turning. She did. He faced her slowly. "You're being reassigned." Her heart dropped. "What?" "To my private team," he continued. "Direct reporting, higher salary, full authority." "That sounds like control," she said sharply. "It's protection." "I didn't ask for it." "I know," he said. "That's why it's optional." Optional. The word surprised her. "Why now?" she asked. "Because someone followed you," he said bluntly. "And because I won't wait until something worse happens." She crossed her arms. "And what happens when people say I slept my way into power?" His jaw tightened. "I'll end them." "That's not reassuring." "I'm not trying to reassure you," he said quietly. "I'm trying to keep you alive." Silence stretched. She finally asked, "Who were they?" He hesitated. "Kang Group rivals," he said, "and someone personal." Her breath caught. "Personal?" "They knew your route," he admitted. "Your schedule." Fear coiled in her stomach. "You see why I can't step back," he added. "Every distance you put between us creates a gap someone else can exploit." She shook her head. "This isn't love. It's an obsession." "Then why does it terrify me to lose you?" he asked softly. The honesty disarmed her. A knock broke the moment. His assistant entered, pale. "Sir, the board is here." The meeting was brutal. Executives questioned his judgment, his involvement, her presence. "She's a liability," one of them said. Joon-Hyuk stood. "She's an asset," he replied, "and this discussion is over. This isn't about your feelings. Leave," he snapped. The room froze. "I said leave." They did. Afterward, the fallout hit fast. The media whispers, internal emails, anonymous threats. By evening, Nia sat alone at her desk, staring at her phone. Aaron hadn't replied in days. She texted anyway. "I'm scared." The reply came instantly. "Then run, before he cages you." Her chest tightened. As she left the building, rain poured down, soaking the pavement, blurring the city. She didn't see the man until it was too late. A hand grabbed her arm. She screamed. The grip tightened, then shattered. Joon-Hyuk slammed the man against the wall, fury unleashed. Security swarmed. Nia was shaking. Joon-Hyuk turned to her, breathing hard. "I told you." Tears spilled. "I can't live like this." He cupped her face gently. "Then don't. Live with me." The words hung between them. She searched his face. "And if I say no, then I'll still protect you," he said. "From afar, if that's what you need." That broke her. She whispered, "You're already in too deep." "So are you," he said. Later that night, she stood in her apartment, suitcase open. She wasn't packing to leave him. She was packing to stay somewhere safe. Her phone buzzed. A message from an unknown number. "You don't belong with him. Walk away, or next time we won't miss it." Her blood ran cold. "She is called Joon-Hyuk." "I'm coming to you," she said. "I'll be waiting," he replied instantly. As she stepped into his penthouse, surrounded by guards and glass and power, she knew there was no turning back now. And whatever this was, it would either destroy them both or bind them forever. If your heart is racing right now, like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss the final explosive conclusion. The penthouse was a fortress, but Nia felt exposed. Every shadow seemed alive. Every silence felt like a warning. Joon-Hyuk didn't wait for introductions. He pulled her close, his forehead resting against hers. "You're mine now. No one touches you." She pushed back slightly. "That's exactly what terrifies me." "Good," he whispered, voice low and dangerous. "Fear keeps you alive, and it keeps me sane. If I can't have you, no one will." The words made her shiver, not from fear alone, but from a strange, twisted thrill. Security called in updates, but he waved them off. "You're safe. All of you leave us." Once alone, he led her to the balcony, overlooking the city. Rain had stopped. Neon lights danced across skyscrapers. "Look," he said, "this city, it's ours. Just for tonight." She laughed bitterly. "You say that like ownership matters. It doesn't. People will always try to take what they want." "Then let them try," he said, taking her hand, gripping it tightly. "I'll burn the city down before anyone touches you." Her phone buzzed. Another message from the unknown sender. "This isn't over. He can't save you." Her hands trembled. She looked at Joon-Hyuk. "You see? Even here, even with you, danger follows." He cupped her face. "Danger is life, and life without you is nothing." They stayed like that, silence stretching, until the weight of the moment forced her to speak. "What are we doing?" He smiled, not the polished, charming smile, but something raw, unfiltered. "Surviving, loving, fighting, and maybe, finally being honest." She shook her head. "Honest? You kidnapped?" "Me, emotionally, mentally, and maybe physically." "How is that honesty?" "I'm obsessed," he admitted. "I hate it. I love it. I can't live without you. There, honesty." The confession hit her harder than any threat or text message. Her chest tightened. She didn't answer immediately. Instead, she stepped closer, letting the rain-slicked wind whip around them. "I don't know if I can survive this," she said softly, "or if I even want to." "Then let me carry you," he said. "I'll fight your battles, face your fears, burn your enemies. Just let me be yours." Something in her cracked. The fear, the anger, the uncertainty, it all bled into desire, into recognition that maybe, just maybe, she didn't want a life without him. Before she could speak, he kissed her. Not gentle, not cautious, fierce, claiming, leaving no doubt about possession, protection, and passion. When they pulled apart, breathless, reality intruded. Her phone buzzed again. Last warning. Don't trust him, or die. She looked at Joon-Hyuk. His eyes were fire, unyielding, unrepentant. "I don't care," she whispered. "If I die, I die. With you." A smile flickered on his lips. "Then we die together, or we fight together. No half measures." In that moment, they were a single force against the world, and the world would never know what hit it. As the city lights shimmered beneath them, she realized this was chaos, obsession, and love, all wrapped into one terrifying, intoxicating storm, and they would face it side by side. The story isn't over. Not really. But for tonight, they had each other. If your heart raced with every word, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to catch all future twists, betrayals, and passion.